Ready, start. Hundreds of thousands of students and workers left their schools, colleges, and offices on Friday to take to the streets around the globe and demand that world leaders take urgent action to avert an environmental catastrophe. Stop the global climate strike inspired by 16-year-old Swedish activist Greta Thunberg kicked off in the Pacific Islands and followed the rising sun across Australia, Japan, Southeast Asia, and then Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. Stop. It will culminate in New York when Thunberg, who has been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize, will spearhead a rally at the United Nations headquarters where heads of government are due to gather for a climate summit next week. Stop. This is about my future, not only my future, but the future of my entire generation and all the generations to come after ours, said Tristan Van Cleef, 16, among around 15,000 demonstrators who marched through the centre of Brussels. Stop. Banners at the Brussels march included "Cool Kids Save the Hot Planet," "I Won't Go to School Until You Make It Cool," and "The Warm Earth Destroys Our Cold Beer." Stop. Protesters are calling on governments to take immediate action to limit the harmful effects of man-made climate change. Stop. Social media posts showed scores of demonstrations ranging from a few dozen primary school children in Abuja, Nigeria, to tens of thousands of people in cities from Hamburg in Germany to Melbourne, Australia. Stop. Our future in on your shoulders, read one banner stretched across a street by students in Berlin. Stop. Our oceans are rising, so are we, was a popular slogan on placards, including one carried by a student in school uniform in Melbourne and another by a girl wearing a face mask in Kolkata. Stop. By mid-afternoon, across Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, crowds had gathered in many cities including London, Paris, Brussels, Berlin, Warsaw, Stockholm, Helsinki, Nibia, and Cape Town. Stop. Global warming caused by heat trapping greenhouse gases from burning fossil fuels has already led to droughts and heat waves, melting glaciers, rising sea levels, and floods. Scientists say. Stop. Carbon emissions climbed to a record high last year despite a warning from the UN-backed Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change in October that output of the gases must be slashed over the next 12 years to stabilize the climate. Stop. Next, Chancellor Angela Merkel's government reached a deal on Friday on a bold climate plan for Germany that commits at least $100 billion by 2030 to environmental protection stop. After marathon talks, the coalition sealed a deal which covers a slew of measures from tackling emissions in the energy and industrial sectors to incentives for zero emission electrical vehicles or public transport. Stop flight prices will go up while train tickets will get cheaper. Stop some $86 billion will be plugged into rail infrastructure and funding will be provided to test innovative ways to incite more people to use public transport such as €365 annual tickets. Stop